welcome to Bentley's Backwoods Bushcraft in the Zenshin Self-Defense Academy. This is Richard, and we are in my private apartment dojo, if you want to call it that. I've been lucky enough to get the small bedroom for my private training area, so we will be doing classes, and in here I'm also at the dojo, but this will be for my private training and maybe for some videoing on some personal and private stuff for myself, which I may also share. The room is considerably small. It's like I think it's a 9x8, but it might be an 8x8, but let's just say 9x8 just for the overexcitement of it. And clearly I'm not going to be able to, right at the moment, get my entire body in the frame. So there may be some issues with seeing the footwork. If it's extremely important and I can't just say, hey, do this footwork or do that footwork. If I want to actually show the feet, I'll probably have to adjust. And I'm going to figure out how to set this camera up in this small room so that I can get my entire body. It may be difficult. I may have to, well, there ain't no may. I'm going to have to rig some stuff up so that it'll work. But for those of you who do know me, not having the proper equipment and not having the space or area to do something in it never stops me from doing what I want to do. So I will do it. I will figure it out. But until then, we're just going to have to deal with it as we deal with it. And today I am going to show you some basic Joe stuff with the Zenshin Aikido Aikijitsu class. And we will begin with some basic positioning and movements with the Joe. So first thing I need to do is show you the 9 angles of attack. So here are the 9 angles of attack. If you can see this, let's see if I can get it closer. Yeah, you can see that right here. So this is the angles that we have for attacks. Now, I start one over here and it just goes straight across. Now, whether or not we use Wu-Tick or Lob-Tick, Wu-Tick will go out and then pull back. Lob-Tick will go completely through, but we'll get into that later. But we have number 1. Number 2 is a 45-degree angle downward. 3, straight down the body. 4, same as number 2, but on the other side of the body. 5, the same as number 1, except on the other side of the body. Number 6 angles from lower up. Number 7 goes straight up the body. And number 8 is just like number 6, except on the other side of the body. And then number 9 is a center strike, a straight shot in. Now I'll show you these angles with the Joe. So first I want you to keep in mind that my Aikido is not Aikido. I guess that's the best way to say it. I have been blessed in my life to be able to train in many different arts with some very, very skilled people. And I've got videos on my channel that talk about that. But I will say that my concepts come from Filipino Kali for the most part, especially when it comes to weapons. Now, this is a Japanese / Aikido type weapon. It is a Jo, which is a 4-foot stick. But just because I am doing Aikido with this does not mean that I abandon my entire thought process or the way I do things. So my Aikido conforms to my Filipino Kali concepts. Now, one of the Filipino Kali concepts that is extremely heavy in my system is that we do not worry about the attack. We do not worry about what weapon or non-weapon is in that person's hand. They're empty hand, they have a knife, they have a sword, they have a stick, they have a jo, they have a bow. It does not matter. Any weapon you want to put in that person's hand, and yes, a gun is included. It does not matter what weapon you put in that person's hand. There are only 9 angles at which that weapon can come at you. And if you learn to defend against those 9 angles, it doesn't matter what the weapon is. Now, we always make an assumption that the weapon that we are being attacked with is a bladed weapon. Just because this is not bladed doesn't mean we need to treat it any differently than as if it was a sword. We treat this just like it was a sword. So if we defend this like it was a sword, if it was a sword or a knife, anything bladed, if it was something like that, we wouldn't have to adjust to the way we defend it. We defend everything the same way, depending on the angle that it comes at you. So, for example, if I am going to do a hook to the body, if I take my left hand and hook to the body like this is an angle number 1. Okay? Angle number 1. If I am going to use this jo and I'm going to strike at your waist or rib area like this, that is still an angle number 1. It doesn't make any difference. If I have a knife in my hand and I want to slice across your body, that is still an angle number 1. It doesn't matter. We defend that, all of those, exactly the same way. So, keeping that in mind, I think it will help, because it's helped me. So that way you only have to learn a handful of defenses, because it'll work with anything. Now, this attack, number 1, and this attack, number 5, is exactly the same thing, just on the other side of the body. So, that narrows down the attacks. So, 1 and 5 are the same, which means 2 and 4 are the same, which means 6 and 8 are the same. So there you go. You cut it down. You got 1, 2, 3 attacks there. Then you have your 3 and 7. 3 goes straight down, 7 goes straight up. Same angle, just different direction that it's coming. So there you go. That's 4. And then you have the straight in shot. Boom. All right. So at best, you have 5 different angles that you have to learn to defend against. And that covers all 9 angles. So you only have to learn 5 different things, and you can defend yourself against anything. Plain and simple. There. So now that that's said, let's get to the 9 angles of attack, and we are going to use the jo because we are basing this on Aikido class. It works the same with a knife, it works the same with a stick, a sword, it doesn't really matter. So angle number 1 goes straight across the body. Now, any angle can be at any level. You have your upper level, your middle level, and your lower level. Upper level pretty much covers the shoulders up. Middle level covers, your middle gate covers from the shoulders to the waist, and then your lower gate is basically your waist down to your toes. So again, these 3 gates work the same, it's just a level change. So number 1, straight across the body. Now, it can go straight across at the head, it can go straight across at the waist, it can go straight across at the knees. Doesn't really matter. We're going to keep it, well, for one reason, we're going to keep it so the camera can see. So Angle number one, we're going to say across the waist, straight across. So I start from my left side and it goes horizontal straight across the body as if I'm going to slice my stomach area. One, boom. Now, Wu Tick. A Wu Tick will go strike and then pull back. Boom. Now, there is a little bit of mingling of terminology here. Some of this is Filipino and the majority of it is Japanese, but because of my eclectic gathering and my unique training, I do not try to translate some of these terms from the original terms that I learned. For example, Wu Tick, Lob Tick are Filipino, and I do incorporate those when I am teaching this sort of stuff. Just like the stick. Let's just grab a stick real quick. Alright, here we go. A stick, a simple stick. Now, basically what you want your stick to be is from the armpit to the fingertips. That's the size of the stick you want, plain and simple. When I do these, now the stick has many different terms for it. In Japanese, one of the more common ones is called hanbo. Hanbo. Now, in my Filipino training, they have several different terminologies for it, but we always use the term olisi. Olisi. Now, I try not to confuse my students by using different cultures, languages, and I've tried to call this a hanbo when we train it, but it is very difficult for me to do because I'm so used to calling it olisi. So either hanbo or olisi will come out of my mouth when I'm talking about this stick. So let's sit this down. Now let's get back to where we were at. Alright, so angle number one, straight across the body. Wu Tick will go, it'll make contact, then it will draw back. Wu Tick, like this. Just like that. Now, Lob Tick means that it continues through. So it goes completely through, boom, to the other side of the body. Like so. So that describes Wu Ticks and Lob Ticks. Again, straight across, Wu Tick comes back, Lob Tick goes completely through. And that works for all of these techniques. Again, Wu Tick and Lob Tick are from the Filipino, but it's just how it is. Just how it is. That's all I gotta say. So anyway, let's continue and let's try to get through all this here. Number one, straight across the body. Boom. Number one. Just like that. Number two, we are going to angle from the shoulder to the opposite hip. Just like so. It's a 45-degree angle. Again, it doesn't have to be at this gate. It can be lower and I can be actually striking at the kneecap. It can be higher and I can be striking at the neck. The gate doesn't really matter at this point. What we're doing is we're learning the angle. Just remember that this angle can be at any position, upper, middle, and lower. So anyway, number two, starting from the left, we are going to do a 45-degree angle from shoulder to opposite hip, like so. Again, this is a Lob Tick because it's going straight through. like so. If I wanted to do a woo tick, I would strike and then pull back. Strike and then pull back. As soon as it makes contact, I would pull back. With a lob tick, it'll strike all the way through. Number 2, like so. Number 2. So there's angle number 2. Angle number 3 is just going to go from the head straight down the body. Like this. Number 3. Again, woo tick, strike, pull back. Strike, pull back. Lob tick, straight down. All the way down. Number 3, straight down. Number 4. Number 2 comes off from as my left at this 45. Number 4 is off of my right. But it's still at that angle from the shoulder to the opposite hip, like such. Boom. Number 5, just like the number 1, which comes off of the left side, number 5 comes off of the right side, straight across the body, like such. Number 1, number 5. 1, 5. 1, 5. Number 5, just like this. Number 6. Number 6 is going to be on my right side, and what it's going to do is start from the hip and go up to the opposite shoulder, like such. It's the same angle as number 2, except number 2 is going down as number 6 is going up, like such. Number 7. Number 7 goes straight up the body. So as in number 3 would go down from the head to the groin, number 7 goes from the groin up to the head, like such. Now, there's many different variations of how you can do these techniques, and as an example with number 7, it can just come up, and this is very much like we're doing a roof or a wing, depending on, so let's take a break here real quick and discuss roof and wing deflections. Again, this comes from Filipino. Roof deflections angle like such. So it's coming from, if I have it in my right hand, I am going to bring my stick up to my left. Now I want it to rest on my shoulder and upper shoulder arm area, because if I hold it out here and it gets hit, it'll slam into my arm anyway, and believe me, that hurts. So it comes up like such. Now it's like a roof of a house. The weapon will strike this and slide down the roof. This is angled in this 45 for the exact same reason why your roof is angled, so that things roll and fall off of it instead of like this and then getting stuck up there. Here. Here. Boom, like that. Now, that is a roof. And it works the same way on the right side. If I have it in my left hand, it goes onto my right side, like such. All right? That is a roof deflection. A wing deflection, if I have it in my left hand, it stays on my left side, and I bring it here like such. Boom, like this. Okay? If I have it in my right, it stays on my right. So that's the difference between a roof deflection and a wing deflection. A wing deflection stays on the same side that your hand is in, and a roof deflection goes to the opposite side, like such. All right. Again, those come from Filipino martial arts, and I don't translate those into the Japanese because that's just how I learned them. And I'm not going to confuse myself any more than I want to confuse you. So, number 7 is very much like you do a roof deflection. Now, on occasion you're going to hear me say the word block when I use it. I'm trying to break myself of that. Sometimes it pops out accidentally. When I first learned the wing and the roof, they were called blocks. But we're not blocking anything, we're deflecting it, because I don't block anything. Blocking does not work, but deflections do. So anyway, we won't discuss that right now. Just remember, if you hear me say the word block, it is an error on my part because it's stuck in my head from when I first learned this back in the 80s. But I really mean deflection. So number 7 goes straight up the body. Now again, there, straight up the body like this. And if you can see how that is a roof deflection. Boom, just like this. Now I can also go up the body by rolling up. So I can roll up like such. Bam. Right up the body. Just like this. So it can roll up the body. Roll up the body. Roll up, just like such. Boom. Roll, 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 roll right up the body. Just bring it up more like you're doing a roof. Strike like this, or you can roll up the body. Number 7. Now, number 8. Number 8 is just like the number 4. Number 4 goes downward at this 45. Number 8 is the exact same thing, but it goes upward. Upward. So what I'm doing is going from my hip to the opposite side of my shoulder. Like there. Number 8. There. So 8 goes this way. 4, 8. 4, 8. 4, 8. 8. So 8 can be a woo tick, strike and pull back. Or it can be a lob tick and go straight through. Like such. So 8 comes up, can come up like a lob tick, or it can just come up, strike and pull back. The last angle is number 9. Now, short story about this as well. When I first began learning these angles of attack, we only had 8 angles of attack. Those were the ones that we had right there, 1 through 8. Now, we did practice the 9th angle of attack, but we didn't call it an angle of itself. Basically, it was just all the angles meeting together. Now, I learned this back in the early mid-80s, and since then my perception of it has changed, and I say it's an angle of itself. So Now it's the 9 angles of attack. The 9th angle is a straight shot straight in. Let's see if I can scoot back a tad bit. Here we go. Just straight in. Just like this. Now, again, it can be at any level. It can be high, it can be medium, it can be low. It doesn't matter. But it's a straight shot in. Plain and simple. So, the 9th angle of attack is straight in. Just like this. Just like that. 9. So there are the 9 angles of attack. So if there's a little bit of adjustment on the camera, it's because it's in a precarious position, and it easily slides and falls. So we will be working on camera angles as we go along, but for now we're just going to have to deal with it as we deal with it. Now, using the 9 angles of attack, we're going to use the stick. Now, the stick is not a common weapon used in normal Aikido, and even I tend to wait for a while to add the stick into the workings with my students, but I have one student in particular that's really enthusiastic about working with the stick more than he is with the Jo. So yay for me, because to me the stick is probably one of the best weapons ever created. I love the stick, and honestly I like it better than the knife, but the knife works just like the stick. I just enjoy the stick in my hand. So let's go through the 9 angles of attack with the stick, and we'll show you the similarities and slight variations between the stick and the Jo. So again, the biggest difference between the stick and the Jo, and pretty much really the only difference, is that this is a one-handed weapon here. Angle 2, angle 1, there. And with the Jo, it's a two-handed weapon. 2, 1. See? That's really the only difference between these weapons are size. And if you treat everything as if it was a bladed weapon, the only difference you're ever going to get is size, depending on how far away from your opponent you have to be and whether or not you're using one hand or 2 hands. Okay, that's really the only difference. Now, the 9 angles of attack with the stick: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just like that. Again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right there you go. There's the stick. So right now we are going to work on some basic exercises for the 9 angles of attack. And again, we will work them with the Jo. I will show you the stick slightly, just a little bit with the stick real quick. But again, since we're focusing on the Aikido type Aikijitsu stuff rather than the Filipino sword and stick, we will focus mainly on this, but I do want to show you that it's the same thing with the stick and with anything else. So first we're going to do, and again keep in mind the 9 angles of attack, we are going to do angles 2 and 4. So basically what we're going to do is angle 2, angle 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Now, unfortunately, it may be difficult to see my feet. Here we go, so if I can come back here. So what we're going to do is, I'll step out with my left as I strike 2, and then as I switch my hands, I will draw back and step forward with my right and strike forward and switch like such. So each time when I do this, so regardless of which one is in front, doesn't really matter. Right now my left leg is in front. So what I'm going to do is, using my footwork, I am going to keep the left leg in front, and I will scoot forward with a Ihame Arimi. My left leg is in forward, so it'll stay forward as I strike 2. Now, I will do a slight oshuro, or draw back of that left leg, and then I will step forward as I switch hands with my right and strike number 4. 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Now, switching hands with the Jo, you can do this in various ways. I slide my hands so I never leave contact. Once I make contact with it, I will always keep contact. As you can see, I slide like such. Just like that. You can practice this by holding the Jo at angles 3 and 7 and just slide your hands back and forth like such. Just like that. Or you can hold it at an angle 1-5 and slide. But what you need to do is get proficient at doing that, because there's a lot of switching of hands in these techniques. Again, 2, 4, 2, 4. Make sure that you are properly adding the footwork as you do that. My left leg is forward. I draw back, switch hands, step forward with my right. Now I know it's difficult to see here because I just don't have the angles to deal with right now, but I hope you get the idea. So there is 2 and 4. So next we are going to do 1 and 5. So 1 goes straight across the body. Now we're going to do this in a lob tick version. Lob tick means it goes straight across. So as it goes completely across, I'm going to bring out, this right hand is going to come off of it, and I'm going to catch it as it comes back. Like this. So my hands are positioned in this manner. This hand right here, my right hand, will release as it comes in, and then my palm will turn outward and I will catch it. There we go. 1, 1, 1, 5. Then I switch hands, go back to 1, 5. My hands will switch positions and I will come back in with a 1, 5, and it will just rotate just like such. Again, 1, 5, switch, 1, 5, roll, switch, 1, 5, roll, switch, 1, 5, just like such. And this can be reversed so that then you go the opposite direction. 5, 1, switch, 5, 1, switch, 5, 1, switch, 5, 1, switch, 5, 5, 1, switch, sorry. 5, 1, switch. 5, 1, switch. 5 comes off. Now the left hand lets go and catches. And then we draw it back into the 1, switch hands. 5, 1, switch. 5, 1, switch. 5, 1, switch. 5, 1, switch. Again, you can, if you want to do it in a different manner, you can go 5 here, switch 1, switch 5, switch 1, switch 5, which is what I was doing a minute ago. It's another variation that you can do. Switch after each one of them. So you switch, hit 1, switch, hit 5. You can start with 5. 5, switch, hit 1, switch, hit 5, switch, hit 1. Or you can do your 5 like you're doing a lob tick, let it go, come back, catch it. Then strike with your 1 and then switch. Or go into the switch variations, and you practice all of these. Just like that. So that's 1 and 5. Next we're going to do angles 6 and 8. So again, angle 6 comes up off the right side and 8 comes up off the left side. And again, you can reverse this to 8-6. It doesn't really matter. But again, there's this switching motion. Now this works into a figure 8. Just like this. So we're going to go up with a 6. Hands are going to switch. We're going to go up with an 8. Hands are going to switch. We're going to go up with the 6. Switch, 8. Now each time your feet will change. Right now my left is in forward. So what I'm going to do is when I switch, when I strike, I will either step forward with my right leg, or I will switch out by drawing back with Oshuro on my left and then stepping a Remi with my right. Depending on whether or not you want to move forward, if you have the space or you need to, or whether you're just switching footwork. But make sure that you use the footwork along with these movements. So I'm going to strike number 6. And as I strike number 6, my left leg is out, and then I'm going to switch as number 6, boom. Switch hands, step back with the right, and as I go up with 8, my left leg steps out. Just like this. Switch, 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 and then eventually it just starts to switch automatically, and it just starts rolling really nice and fluid, just like such. So on this side here we go 8, switch, 6, 8, switch, 6, 8, switch, 6, and it just keeps going until eventually it just starts twirling like such. So that is number 6 and number 8. Next we're going to have the 9-7-2-4. So number 9 is the straight shot in, like such. Number 7 is this roof deflection that we're going to do. So it's 9, it's an angle 7. You can also call this a roof deflection. 9, roof. Now we're going to switch hands, step forward with the left and strike down number 2. Draw back with the left as we switch hands, step forward with the right, number 4. So it looks like this here. So you go 9, I know the angles again, I apologize. 9 straight in, 7 comes up, you switch hands, step forward with the left, do angle 2, reverse the hands and the step forward with the right, and then you have 4. So 9, 7, 2, 4, just like that. 9, 7, 2, 4. Let's try it on this angle here. So you have 9, 7, 2, 4, just like that. So that's angles 9, 7, 2, 4. So let's work 7, 3. Angles 7 and 3, or 3 and 7. So 7 is a roll. You can roll it like such, roll it up, or you can do more of a roof deflection if you want. You can do it both ways. I suggest that you do it both ways. So roof is number 7. We're going to rotate it and switch hands, step forward with the left and strike straight down the body. Now we got left forward. We're going to come up with the 7, rotate hands, switch feet to the right, straight down the body. So 7, 3, 7, 3, just like that. Now on this, so 7 comes straight up the body. We're going to switch hands. We're going to step forward with the left, straight down the body. Now left forward, we pull up here with this roof deflection. The hands switch. We rotate the Joe, and as we do, the right foot steps forward and we strike down with number 7. 7, 3, 7, 3, 7, 3, just like that. 7, 3. So that's angle 7 and 3. Now we're going to do 4, 8. 4, 8, 8, 4, either one, both ways. 4, we've done 4 before, and we've done 8 before. So 4 angles, right foot steps forward, number 4 angle, we strike. Now, we are going to switch hands. Now the left leg will step forward, and we will roll up at that angle from hip to waist, waist to hip. It's the same angle. So basically we're going this angle here, number 8, and this angle here, number 4. It's the exact same angle right there. So it's like I'm going from my shoulder to the opposite hip, or that hip to the opposite shoulder. Doesn't really matter. It's this angle here. 8 shoots up this way, 4 shoots down this way. Alright, so 4, 8. 4, switch, 8. Switch, 4, 8. 4, 8. We go 8, 4, 8, 4, 8, 4. Simple, simple. Go 8, 4, 4, 8, 4, 8, 4, 8, 8, 4, 8, 4. So there we go with the 4, 8. And then we're going to work the 2, 6 angle, which is exactly like the 4, 8, which goes this way, but the 2, 6 is just on the opposite side, just like this. 2 comes down, 6 goes up. Again, 2, 6, switch, 2, switch. So right now I have my right foot forward and I have the Joe on my left side of the body, and I'm going to go down with an angle 2. When I do, I step forward with my left, strike with the angle 2. Then my hands will switch, and then I will step forward with my right and I will roll up that same angle, but going upwards now at an angle 6. 2, 6, 2, 6, switch hands, 2, switch hands, 6, 2, 6. 2, left foot. Switch, right foot. Left foot. Right foot. So 2, switch. Switch, up. 2, switch legs. 6, switch hands. Switch legs, up. Simple as that. So 6, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2, 6, 2, 4, 8, 4, 8, 2, 6, 3, 7, 3, 7, 3, 7, 5, 1, 5, 1, 9. Right there. So there are the angles using the Joe. So just briefly, let's discuss the stick, which is exactly like the Joe, except I'm only using one hand. So the 2-4 angle, again, 2, 4, 2, 4, 8, 6, 8, 6, 8, 6, 3, 7, 3, 7, 1, 5, 1, 5, 9. 2, 4, 1, 6, 9, 8, 4, 9, 2, 6, 9. So there we go. It's variation, very simple, very easy, using the Olisi, the Hanbo, or as we call it, it's a stick.